Sports Court with 13 on your side. The case. Recently, the selection committee named the latest men's U.S. basketball national team. Now, of course, this reminds us of a long-standing argument, and it's this week's topic. Should Isaiah Thomas have made the dream team?
Testimony.
Isaiah Thomas deserved to make the dream team for three reasons. Number one, he already had international experience. He played in the Pan American Games, was named to the 1980 U.S. Olympic team, so he had already been through the process, would have been a great selection. Number two, if you're worried about chemistry on the team, you wouldn't have chosen Isaiah Thomas as head coach, Chuck Daly. And nobody could have reined in Isaiah like Chuck Daly. And speaking of chemistry, that brings us to the third point. There were other people on that team who had said things worse than Isaiah Thomas had ever said before. Karl Malone is on record as saying he did not want to play with Magic Johnson because he was afraid of potentially contracting the HIV virus. That is a much more egregious thing to say about a teammate than anything that Isaiah Thomas had said. However, no one seemed to worry about the chemistry between those two. Isaiah belonged on that team.
Chuck Daly was universally beloved in the NBA. Isaiah Thomas was not, and that's why he should have not been on that team, rightfully so. Larry Bird didn't want him on that team. Michael Jordan didn't want him on that team. Scottie Pippen didn't want him on that team. Karl Malone didn't want him on that team. It was the first ever Olympic team. You're trying to entice the guys to spend their own time and not get paid? You want to do everything you can to accommodate the masses.
Cross-exam. Mike, one of those names you named does not belong on that list. If you want to tell me that Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, even Michael Jordan don't want Isaiah on the dream team, so be it. But to bring up Scottie Pippen as if Scottie Pippen holds any weight, don't you think Isaiah Thomas was a much bigger name than Scottie Pippen?
Yes, but when the selection committee was coming together, one of the first four names out of Chuck Daly's mouth of who he wanted on that team, Scottie Pippen. He recognized Pippen's defensive value. The dream team won by 42 points. So why are you still bitter about this? Let it go, man.
It's a matter of principle. We can all agree that Larry Bird didn't belong on that team because of his athletic abilities at the time. Magic Johnson wasn't on that team because he was one of the best point guards in the game at the time. It was a gift as a congratulatory thing that the NBA said, you know what, we appreciate everything that you've done for the sport. Go to the Olympics and get a gold medal. Isaiah Thomas deserved that exact same respect.
Closing arguments.
When you talk about the 1980s and the NBA, that is without argument the peak of that league. And it is the golden years for everyone who thinks about the NBA. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, and Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas going to 3 straight NBA finals, winning 2 championships, belongs in the conversation of some of the greatest achievements in NBA history. Isaiah Thomas deserved to be a part of the 92 Dream Team for the same reasons Larry Bird and Magic Johnson got on the team.
You know, I'm shocked that you did not bring up the fact that John Stockton didn't deserve to be on that team, because everyone always says John Stockton should have been off, Isaiah should have been on, but the fact of the matter is, in the 2 seasons leading up to the summer of '92, Stockton's stats were better, Chris Mullin's stats were better than Isaiah Thomas, Clyde Drexler's stats were better than Isaiah Thomas, and I think the most important thing is, look, the players can want or not want guys all they want. It ultimately came down to what the selection committee wanted. And the fact of the matter is, there was that walkout in 1991. That left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. I know it's a tough pill to swallow for Isaiah, even to this day, but the bottom line is, he didn't deserve to be there.
The verdict. And now it's up to you, jury at home. What's your verdict?
Head to the 13 on your side Facebook page and let us know your thoughts. We love reading what you have to say.
And we may share some of our favorites when we see you again next week in Sports Court.